Hi guys! We are going to read chapter 18 from The Land of Stories, written by Chris Cofer, published by Little Brown. Gotta say that every time. Called The Mermaids Message. When we left off, Connor had just pushed Alex off the cliff into Mermaid Bay, and it was right before the big bad wolf pack got him. I'm wearing my fish shirt, because we're going underwater to where the mermaids are. Maybe not. Then, that was 2 chapters ago. Then, the last chapter, the evil queen made a deal with Goldilocks. This is getting very interesting. Now, let's go under the water, or in the fish tank, to read the rest of the story. The Mermaid's Message. Connor was positive he was dead. The falling into the ocean must have killed him because, wherever he was, he had never been so relaxed. He felt like he was somewhere in a glorious state between being asleep and being awake. A place he knew very, very well, because he likes to sleep in class. His eyes were closed and he was laying down on the softest surface he had ever laid on in his entire life. The air was cool and refreshing and it smelled like a little salty, but he was sure he was only imagining that because the last thing he had seen was the ocean. He opened his eyes just a tiny bit and saw his sister laying next to him. She must have died too, but she seemed so peaceful. Now, he didn't worry about her. He couldn't have worried about anything if he tried. He felt so wonderful wherever he was. All he could think of was an enjoyment. This must be heaven, he thought. Connor opened his eyes wider. His vision was a little blurry, but he could see so many colorful objects moving in all different directions above him. They looked human, and the more his eyes adjusted, they must be angels, he told himself, and he went back to sleep. Just as he drifted off, a thought occurred to him. Do you sleep when you're dead? Do you feel and smell the air when you're dead? He must have been alive after all to experience all those things. But where was he? He opened his eyes as wide as possible, so they would adjust faster. He and his sister were lying in a large clamshell at the bottom of the ocean. They were in an underwater cave of sorts, but they were unable to breathe. They were able to breathe in a large air bubble that surrounded them. There was coral pillars in the cave and dirt and rocky walls behind them. A sandy floor was underneath, and they were facing an endless blue ocean. Swimming atop the bubble was gathering of mermaids. They were glorious and colorful. All of them were pale, had long hair that matched their tails in vibrant sea colors. There were blues and greens and purples and pinks. They were friendly and waved to Connor soon as they noticed he was awake. Connor looked at his wounded arm and saw a seaweed bandage covering his scratch. One of them must have wrapped it. "Alex!" Connor said. "Alex, wake up!" He tapped her on the shoulder and she stirred to life. "Huh?" asked Alex, who was extremely relaxed of her own state. "Mermaids!" Connor said. "There are mermaids swimming around us!" Told you we'd see mermaids. This caught Alex's attention and her eyes fluttered open, and it took her a few moments to realize where she was and what was actually happening. She sat straight up in the clam. "Connor, why are we at the bottom of the ocean?" "Beats me," he said. "Check out this bubble around us." He noticed the longer they stayed in it, the smaller it became because of the air they breathed in. The last they remember was being chased by wolves, and then, You jerk!" she said, remembering being pushed off the cliff. She hit him repeatedly with an open hand. Hey, stop it! It was either that or be attacked by wolves. Pick your poison!" Connor said. "If we survived the fall, then how did we get in here?" asked Alex. "We brought you here," a mermaid swimming above said. She had a long, soft turquoise hair and a matching shimmering scales on her tail. "The sea foam spirit wants to speak with you." "The sea foam spirit?" Connor asked. "She's on her way," another mermaid with pink hair and tail said. "I don't think these mermaids get out much," Connor whispered to Alex. Here she comes now, the mermaid of purple said with purple coloring. Sure enough, a cluster of sea foam drifted through the ocean toward Connor and Alex. It came into their bubble and swirled around before hovering in front of them. It slowly morphed into the shape of a mermaid. Hello, children, said an airy voice from inside the foam. Hello, Alex said, tilting her head like a puppy, looking at something peculiar. Have you ever done that? Tilting her like... Howdy, Connor said, tensing every muscle in his forehead. Scratched up his forehead. I hope you are well, the sea foam spirit said, and she was frothy and her foam constantly rejuvenating itself. I instructed my mermaids to take very good care of you. You poor things nearly drowned when you fell into the ocean. Alex gave her brother a really dirty look. Did we? She said. And are you the sea foam spirit? Yes, said the sea foam spirit. But you and your brother may know me best as the Little Mermaid. Alex's face lit up. This is the one person she hadn't thought she would meet in the land of stories. You're the Little Mermaid? She asked, completely starstruck. Good Lord, what happened to you? Connor asked. I thought you died, Alex said. Not exactly, the spirit said. When I turned into a human by the sea witch all those years ago, I had to marry the prince in order for the spell to last. Unfortunately, everybody knows the prince married someone else and my body turned into the sea foam. I'm no longer physical form, but my spirit lives on. That's weird, Connor said. Oh, that's wonderful, Alex said. I always so sad after reading your story. Not many people know your real story. They always assume you had the happily ever after. There are many who don't, the spirit said. I believe you two are looking for something that once belonged to me. I don't think so, Connor said. Wait, do you mean the saber from the deepest sea? Alex said anxiously. Do you know what it is? How do you know what we're looking for? Connor asked suspiciously. I know many things that average entity doesn't, the spirit said. Especially things said near water. Swan Lake, Alex said. We were talking about the wishing spell items we had left to collect while we were traveling across Swan Lake. So, Miss Foam Lady, formerly known as the Little Mermaid, Connor said. What is the saber from the deepest sea? We've been trying to figure out since we got here. As you recall, I traded my ability to speak to the sea witch, a pair of legs, so I could be the prince on shore. The spirit said, after he fell in love with the other woman, my sisters traded their hair for the knife from the sea witch. And she said that if I killed the prince with it, I could return to the sea as a mermaid. But ultimately, I couldn't go through with it, and I became what I am today. The knife! Alex said eagerly. The saber of the deepest sea is a knife the sea witch gave you! Of course! I was expecting it to be much bigger! Yes, the spirit said. Hold up, Connor said. You went through all that trouble for a guy? Were there not any available mermen? Perhaps that is the lesson of my story, the spirit said. And where's the knife now? Alex asked. I gave it to a man not long ago who needed it for the same reason you do. The spirit said, I gave it to him on one condition, that he destroy it after he finished with it. Oh no, Connor said, putting his hands on his head and pulling his hair. So it's gone? Alex said. She was about ready to cry. It's gone, but not destroyed, the spirit said. The man failed to fulfill his agreement, fearing that he might need it again someday. So where did he put it? Connor asked. In the place where people put things they never want to see again. He flushed it? Connor asked. No! Remember the place the traveler tradesman was telling us about? He must have dropped it in the thornbush pit, Alex said. Oh, great, Connor said sarcastically. Why Did he have to drop it into the cursed pit? Why couldn't he have just dropped into a gopher hole? We're never gonna get it, Alex said. Even if we're close to that place, the vines of the thorn bush will drag us to the bottom of the pit forever. Unless you have these, the foam spirit said. She extended both of her hands, and 2 necklaces with each a golden shell appeared at them. Wear these, and you will retrieve the knife at the bottom of the thorn bush pit. The cursed plants will not harm you. Thank you, Alex said. The twins leaned forward to take a shell out of their foamy hands, but the spirit pulled them away. I will only give you this if you promise to destroy the knife, as long as you're done with it, the spirit said. The twins looked at each other and nodded. Of course, Alex said. No problem, Connor said. Very well. The spirit handed them over to the twins. Be careful. The shells are twins too. If one breaks, the other one as well. Remember that. Why are you doing this for us? Why do you always have to ask when someone's motives are when they help you? The spirit said. The question took Alex off guard. Because people don't really help each other where we come from, Alex said. They do occasionally, but it's rarely without reason. Good people are hard to find. It can be difficult too. It can't be too difficult. I'm looking at you two now, the spirit said, which is why I'm inclined to help you, and which is why I'm inclined to tell you this. You are not the only ones looking for the items of the wishing spell. That we knew. We know, Connor said. The evil queen is too. She's the one who sent the wolves after us, Alex said, isn't she? Yes, the spirit said. She is determined to find the knife as you are, and that is why you must hurry if you are going to beat her. Unfortunately, the wishing spell can be used one more time. What? Connor said. Both the twins felt like someone had kicked them in the stomachs. This definitely complicated matters. You mean if she gets the knife first, that's it? Game over? Unfortunately so. The bubble around the twins was almost gone. It barely covered the clam they sat in. Their time underwater was running out. We can't let that happen, Alex said, shaking her head. We have to get there first. We have to go right now. I'll have my mermaids escort you there as fast as you can. But once you're on land, you must travel the rest on your own, the spirit said. Stay safe, children. The seafoam spirit fizzled out and disappeared. The mermaids swam down to the twins and each grabbed a hold of the clamshell. And Alex and Connor set in. Together, they moved the twins through the ocean. And to the next adventure.